trains.
Yes.
I haven't done much of this CSX one. I should do that at some stage.
I would like that.
Drive some freight. Schnellfahrstrecke Köln. I quite like. What?
It's so many letters.
Yeah, welcome to German. We just pile words together.
God.
And then sometimes you change the spellings of them so that one letter... So, like, the German beta used to be... They changed how it was... What it was. They got rid of the beta, basically, because it was a character that wasn't on most computers, I think, because that's one of the reasons they got rid of it. But it just looks like a... but you pronounce that S. So it stood for double S. So, Spaß... Actually, maybe some words still do use them.
Weird.
Spaß, meaning fun, used to be S. It used to look like spab, but the B was a capital B.
Okay.
And then Imbiss is like a snack, but Imbiss used to have a B in it. So Imbissstube, which is a snack kiosk, like a train station, you get a snack. Okay. Imbissstube. That word, because they changed the beta to having two S's, and Stube also begins with an S, it means that the word has literally 3 S's in the middle of it. It's the most ridiculous looking word, and it's a kind of accident as a result of them changing the spelling of what that looked like. Yeah, German facts, guys. That's what we're doing on Michael and Ali's Do Stuff today. The stuff we're doing is discussing the German spelling reform of 1996.
Such a riveting topic.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's new. A new route, it looks like. A new American route. They do release new stuff quite regularly on this game, which I like.
Hi, Kyle.
Welcome, Kyle. Welcome to the Trains Hour. Or the Trains 2 Hour, possibly. I don't know. However long I feel like playing this. Good to have you in the house.
So which train are we driving now?
I'm gonna probably do whatever the next scenario is for my GWR.
Okay.
And then I might try out a bit of the Southeastern High Speed.
Fun. Ooh, snow!
So yeah, here we are in our very own Reading.
This isn't realistic. Trains in England don't run when there's an inch of snow on the ground.
Well, notice there's no passenger trains.
Okay.
The freight trains are absolutely fine. Because they weigh like 1 billion tons.
Yeah.
Okay, what's going on with the lights here? Right, got to release the brakes and get the brake pipe control up to 5. There we go. Got to get the reverser into forward. Anything else? Release the direct brake. Reverser's good. Parking brake is off. I think we're good. I think we can go.
Okay. Let's do a thing.
Train. I don't know what's going on there. I think we must have a very heavy train. Why train not go? Look at that. Oh, look at that. It's wheel slip. That's what's happening. We're actually throttling up too fast.
Oh,
That's pretty good. So we need... Okay, so that is actually a thing. So when you get the red mark, what that means is, I guess, you're slipping the wheels because you're just throttling up too hard.
Oh gosh, you're gonna need to take your time with braking.
Yeah. Well, the whole train has brakes. Actually, I find it much easier because basically what I just did to get the brake pressure up is I'm getting the brake line all the way down the train filled up with air pressure so that it's ready to engage and stop the train. It's actually a bit easier for this to lose speed because as soon as you start, it's very hard to get it going. It's got so much inertia.
I just meant I
Yeah.
thought that the trailers would be a bit nicer.
Oh, that's possibly what's going on. Yeah. Very realistic. I also just like that I've got like possibly 400,000 tons of like Tesco supplies in here. It's a lot of bread, Maltesers, and Andrex.
They don't sell anything else in Westminster.
Well, these aren't refrigerated. These cars, so it can't be any produce. They don't have reefer units on them, right? Well, they're just a metal box.
Although they're metal boxes in the winter, so
It would be cold in
they're
there.
like comfortable.
Yeah, I did see that. Sorry, I'm really bad at responding to my messages, Kyle. I will look at that in a bit.
We also are just very bad with video multiplayer.
We don't do an awful lot of multiplayer stuff, to be fair.
We're very. Yeah. What's the term I'm looking for? Most to do single player gaming.
Yeah.
So we haven't actually added anyone on this PS4. I don't even think about it.
I think I've had my brother, but I think he plays PC mostly these days. He's mostly doing PC Overwatch.
And he said he wanted an Xbox.
Yeah. My brother's got a very good PC. He's got a very good computer
Quite something.
that can run extremely fast. He built it himself. There we go, let's get going. This is pretty much a straight shot. Looks like we're just going 30 miles all the way to Acton.
Okay.
I imagine John Smith will be along shortly. It's a very pretty game, this. It looks very nice. It's a very nice looking game. I think the sounds are very realistic too. This is quite good.
Yeah, the only thing about it is I kind of wish it had a better manual.
Yeah, it can be a little bit like, why is it doing this? Why is it doing that? It just needs to...
At least just have a help button.
Right. I mean, it's good that they have tutorials at all, but I guess... Yeah. They probably spend a lot more time developing the routes and the look of it than they do on
Yeah.
that sort of thing, on the tutorials. I guess they figure that people that are willing to buy a game like this are probably motivated to figure out how it works, as opposed to like one of the big AAA releases that will probably just handhold you and spoon feed you the whole way.
Well, the controls are much like getting really good at those kind of games is much harder. But the controls themselves are straightforward.
Right. Right.
I don't have nearly as many things I can do in Overwatch. It's buttons.
Right. Oh, are we going to... Is something passing us? No, that's just a light.
One thing is driving on snow is kind of like
Can be, yeah.
the snow is snow blindness.
I'm curious, can I just fuck off?
Do it.
Oh, hello.
There's a bee inside.
Oh
There's a
dear,
bee.
there's a bee inside.
There's a bee inside.
Okay, what do we do? I'm pausing the game.
Yeah.
Might he just go out? Do we have any... Hang on.
There's a bee.
There's just a bee in our house now. Can you... There we go. Can we... Ow!
Are you okay?
Yes.
Where did he go? Alright. Oh, this is gonna go very badly. Oh, this is gonna go so badly. This is not landing. Oh, this is gonna go so badly.
You can do it, you can do it. Oh, close, close. We have to catch a bee.
Oh, God.
Oh my god.
No.
Oh, so close, so close. Oh, oh, oh!
Nope, 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 nope. Nope. Outside, outside. Oh, he's so mad. Oh, he's so angry.
Yes! We got him out. Amazing.
Yay.
Well, that's a stream first. I think I'm going to have to put that up as a stream highlight. So also, I could just abandon the train at this point.
Tuck and roll.
I opened the doors for some fresh air.
And we got a bee.
And we got a bee in here. Alright.
In the door. That's why we got a bee.
Well, that was new.
It was new. I hope he wasn't trying to get to my new scented candle.
Somehow I doubt it. It does. Very nicely weathered train here. It looks all grabby. I saw one of these the other day.
Yeah.
I saw an EWS one. Oh, here comes something else. HST. Well, yeah, we don't know how to deal with weather, as opposed to in America, where actually, you know why this train would be running fine? It's an American engine. I think that the fact that these things are so heavy also gives them a lot of traction. I mean, think about it, it's quite impressive how good railways are at carrying extremely heavy stuff. Still, apparently, railways are the most efficient form of freight transportation. Not... Although, for passengers, per unit of fuel, trains are still the most efficient. They're way more efficient than planes and cars, for sure. Just because they can simply be so long. They can be way longer than any plane or car can be. Yeah, that's fine. So beautiful. It's so pretty. We're all done. We're safe from the coffee machine. Okay. Of course, in America, it happens much more that you'll have a snowy, sunny day. As you know, we both used to live somewhere that had lots of those, because, like, despite there being sun, the temperature's not really rising that much.
-3 degrees.
It's still bloody cold. Okay, very nice. Very nice. Annalise is more coffee than me.
You're not coffee.
I'm not very coffee.
I'm very
I'm also not very football.
Yeah, neither am
Apparently there's some sort of football thing happening. Yeah, something. As I sometimes joke, even saying the word football, by the middle of ball, I'm already bored. By the middle of saying the word ball in football,
very unpopular.
I know. We already are. We've got like 2 viewers anyway. I'm not hoping to win the popularity contests. I have absolutely no interest in it. Oh, I'm fine with being actively disliked, especially as far as my adherence to various sports things. As I think we've said before, very much enjoy the Olympics. Very much, sometimes I'll put on tennis. They just seem very different as games, Because I think it's just, at least as far as the Olympics are concerned, it's all about achievement of very difficult tasks, physically demanding things. Like not anybody can run 100 meters. I'm not saying anybody can play football, of course, but I don't know. I think arbitrary games interest me less for some reason. I don't know why. Whereas, somebody that cycles the fastest out of the top 20 people in the whole world. That's what I'm saying, yeah. Somebody that cycles the fastest out of the top 20 people in the world is amazing. That's an amazing thing to see.
I'm excited. For less than 2 weeks now.
Oh yeah, we're going to have them on. And they're in Tokyo.
And specific ones of BBC coverage of it are so bad. The coverage of the United States is so freaking terrible, and I hate it.
How so? You mean just full of ads?
And not even that. And if this is not just a me opinion, this is well known. If you look online, you will see memes. First of all, the opening ceremony, they comment through the whole thing.
And then pronounce countries' names wrong.
Well, not just that. I mean, when they're actually doing performances, and even if they're music performances, they're commenting and talking over them. The only thing they don't talk over is the speeches. Everything else they talk the whole time. Even if it's one of those really beautifully orchestrated, 20-minute long choreographed pieces.
Like the wild ones they did in Beijing.
Yeah, they talk over the whole thing.
Yeah.
I can see it. You're not contributing. And then when
You're just creating noise with your face.
and there's this brilliant video you can watch on YouTube that compares the U.S. coverage of the women's gymnastics to the German coverage, and quite literally they show the American Olympians competing, and then in between they just show them, they just show the American team walking around, sitting in chairs, thinking, and they're
So
showing
they
the
only
German-
show the Americans.
They show clips of the other athletes as well, but they spend a disproportionate amount of time showing you the American athletes just being.
Just existing.
And they show the German coverage like, while this person's just sitting in a chair thinking, there's actual athletes doing the event that we don't see. And it's, like I said, it's not that they just show the American athletes, but they do spend
It's a little bit self a little bit navel gazing.
Yeah, you don't get to see a lot of the, I don't, they're not performance, it's gymnastic. And this is for all sports events. You don't get to see a lot of the competitors, I should say, because they're just showing you thinking and sitting. I'll show you that video somewhere. It's very fun.
Well, there's also kind of a horrible disrespect for the Paralympics as well.
Yeah, I really.
You know, I once heard that after the was it the 2012 or was it like it must have been the 2012 ones?
The London ones?
Yeah.
London.
What were the winter ones before that? Sochi was more recent. Sochi was like 2014. Yeah, somewhere. Maybe it was in America. Maybe it was Colorado or something. Apparently, most of the reporters and journalists were just packed on planes. They couldn't get out of there fast enough. So we don't care about Paralympics. What's wrong with you? Isn't it more exciting?
This person is freaking shooting a bow and arrow with his feet.
With their feet,
How
exactly.
Is this not impressive?
That's incredible.
I want to really make a point of trying. I don't know how well. I don't know what the BBC covers the Paralympics. I would think they would. I know that Tokyo is making a really strong effort to make the Paralympics on color.
Mm-hmm.
When we were in Tokyo, remember, I saw more ads of Paralympics.
Right. Oh, that was then. Oh, that was still. They were gearing up to it last year, and it all got
Yeah, we're
cancelled.
little 2020 mascots over there.
I know.
We're little 2020 keychain over there. I mean,
I hate 2020.
2021. There needs to be a new term for, like,
The current era.
like this era, so we don't have to keep saying 2020, 2021, because it doesn't matter. The year is irrelevant. But, anyway.
Bad.
Also, first Olympics with skateboarding as an official sport.
That's right.
And
I
I'm
did hear that.
really excited to watch it.
That's really fun.
I'm wonderful. But, the American representative, or one of them, is the youngest Olympian in decades, I think. She obviously was a year older than she's going to be.
I think our B friends trying to get back in, so they can shut the window as well. We don't want
It's not too
V2
far
to be for you. Okay. I still think it was really funny. I still enjoy the meme of the American, not Simone Biles, the American acrobatic gymnast who was Michaela Maroney is not impressed.
Yep.
Remember her
Well, I
making
mean,
the kind of squishy sideways face?
I mean, she was the top golfer in the world. Well, just landed on her ass. They were all shocked by it.
I spattered this earlier, so I don't want to spat again. Signal past and bang. Can't do that.
Eyebrow.
Okay. Let me go back up to this. Oh, that's interesting. how busy these lines generally are, I really feel like we should be seeing more trains.
Yeah. Again. Yeah, so now that it's been postponed, it's going to be 13.
Oh, wow.
She's going to get 20.
Jesus. That's incredible. She still must be one of the youngest Olympians.
She is.
That's incredible.
I heard that. Oh, you guys saw me there.
Uh-huh.
You're very good at that.
Yeah. Oh, God. That's good. Right, watch the exhaust very closely as we go across this bridge. There you go. It went through, it did go through the bridge.
Alright.
We found a little bug. There you go. And yeah, it's harder to see there. But that's a beautiful way to next station. Here's where I have to start being careful. Because I spattered this bit earlier. I was going effectively too fast for the scenario. The signals were beginning to catch up with my signal area. So they weren't being turned green fast enough down further down. There we go. Yeah, that'll be fun. She's not good. Train. Come on. The train's given up.
Yep. Tired. I wanna go.
On the flat here shouldn't be a problem. There we go, we just got to get it slowly moving. Come on, move!
Good train.
So much inertia. Seems to not want anything more than throttle 4. As soon as I put up throttle 5, it starts slipping. station this is. I don't think we're at Ealing Broadway yet.
The car just stopped.
Oh.
It was going and then went. But also, I
John's here.
Hi, John.
Hey, you're right. Ivor. Oh yeah. West Drayton, Ivor.
How are you doing today, John?
And then Ealing Broadway. I think. Come on, train. Let's go. Now we've got some momentum. Take it up a bit. There you go. See,
Yep.
the exhaust is coming through. The driver's must be very. Also, I can't see any of the road markings. We just don't.
I told you about the legal issue with that, apparently, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the States, if you own a set of stores, if you own a store or anything that has a public sidewalk, you are responsible for keeping it shoveled.
Okay.
And if someone slips on that, you are liable for it.
Yeah.
If you didn't maintain it.
Sure.
In the UK, at least from what I have been told, you are only liable for it if you shovel it. So if
What?
Because if you shovel it and then it ices over,
You could have done it
someone
badly.
slips,
Yeah.
you are responsible. But if you don't touch it, if you don't shovel it at all,
Okay.
you are not liable.
It's just some snow.
Which is why when you go to, say, Oxford and there's been 6 inches of snow, it's almost impossible to walk on the damn sidewalks. Because none of them are shoveled.
I was at cinema seeing The Truffle Hunters, a surprisingly cutthroat world of truffle hunters.
That
What's
sounds
what's
interesting.
what's a truffle hunter?
Truffle mushrooms.
Oh,
You know,
okay.
the really expensive ones.
Okay. Interesting.
Sell for hundreds of thousands.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Truffle mushrooms?
Yeah, black truffles are exceptionally expensive.
I see.
Truffles sometimes sell for anything.
Okay.
Big events.
Are they
Not the black ones. There's common truffles that still, it's still going to cost you like 80 quid for a truffle.
okay?
But
Are
there
they that
very-
rare? Can they not be farmed?
No, they can't be farmed. That's probably it. I don't believe they can be farmed. That's fine.
Huh.
Here we go. Those are the ones. Okay, it's a white truffle. Yeah, European white truffles sell very much at $3,600 a pound.
Nancy?
There's not many white truffles. I believe it's because, well, John, you just saw a whole movie on this, so please tell me if I'm BSing something. I believe it's because they can't be farmed.
Okay. That would give them scared. That would make them scared.
Yeah.
Explain it otherwise. Just
Yeah, the black ones, they're still expensive, like hanging with stuff like that.
right.
But it's just like,
Why? What could possibly mean that they can't be farmed? Are they just only
I don't
naturally occurring?
I really don't know. That I have no idea.
Because surely you could store the fungus
That's my
and artificially, Okay. So they're just they can be farmed. They're just difficult to do.
Black truffles in France and white truffles in Italy are kind of common.
See. Okay. aware of this at all.
As a movie, I would prefer it for usually when you get a truffle, assuming it's not truffle oil, it's entirely different system.
Sure.
And that's just grease, and then things like better. But if you get a dish with actual shaved truffle on it, it's just that. It's not like you get a mushroom pasta where they slice up the whole mushroom. They shave it, but then it's
Right.
more easier. But they're not serving the whole mushroom. It's a good documentary. I would like to, I'd actually be really interested to see that. Is it, you know, it's just years or I haven't heard.
Yeah, look up.
I should think that's a word.
Nice. Okay. That seems very unrelated.
Yeah, it's fantastic. We've actually got to hang out with a couple of people this week. Socialize. It was very fun. Kind of strange.
Okay, see that? The wheels were not spinning. I was sliding there for a moment. The wheels got locked.
Done units for
I like the art house cinemas. Yeah, they're good.
You missed our chaos earlier, John. The bee flew in our window.
Yeah.
Later on, you can, whenever this stream is up, you can rewind and hear us frantically trying
It's
to
only a
catch
few
bee
minutes
with
in.
Tupperware.
Just sudden, and all of a sudden, bees.
Yep. Bee. The bee. Fun. Good time. But I don't want to, it was honeybee, so I certainly don't want to kill it. They need all the help they can get,
Right.
but we did get it out of it. But it was a mission.
Oh, I want to get this mission over so I can do something slightly more fun. But I've invested. It's one of these things I've invested too much in it to not finish it.
Yeah.
Let's get it out of the way.
Well, this is the extra opportunity.
We will.
Where are you gonna run into this?
Probably the southeastern high speed. Is that one of those? Is that one of those things where somebody falls in love with an object? That's a thing, isn't it? Okay. Jean.
Is that just-
Is Jean here?
Oh, it is. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's a surprisingly common thing, actually. Not, you know, of people that form relationships with objects. Fairground rides and theme park things seem to crop up quite a bit. I've seen a few. Yeah, I've seen a few of those. That in people's cars. Like, you know, now and again you'll have Americans marry their car.
Wait, what?
There's somebody that married their car. This has happened a few times. I believe it's something that's sometimes considered. Why is it doing that? I'm not doing this. I'm not zooming. That's the controller just being faulty. Let's get my controller fixed. Yeah, there is I believe that it's something that's considered related to a form of Asperger's. It's somehow on that in that world of, because it's about being able to relate to objects more than people. Objects, and you know, specifically inanimate objects, which nonetheless seem to have a personality. That's why a lot of train fans often are sometimes considered Asperger's, because they can understand trains, and trains are like more predictable and more understandable if you don't have social skills. I think that's a little bit different because they you know, they are living.
No, I wasn't.
It's like railways, you can tell, like, I know what type of train that is. There are only a certain number of them. I know which ones they are, and I know what they're used for. It's, you know, it's not going to, I don't know, I'm trying to sort of psychoanalyze the train spotting condition, because they all sort of, you know, they run to a timetable that's predictable and understandable, whereas people don't do those things. They're all different, and it's kind of sometimes a bit terrifying. Coming up on the stopping point soon. I can't do that. Bad things will happen. Ooh, zoom. Yeah, it's one of those conditions that's extremely rare, but always, you know, when somebody has it, they tend to get a lot of interest from the press.
Yeah, well,
People are just so curious they can't understand it.
yeah, well, yeah.
Like, one of the ones I really didn't get was people that get obsessed with laundry. Doing laundry. Like, there was a CBS Sunday Morning thing about it, full of like cheesy jokes about laundry. There's no sign that they're not going to be stockpiling the detergent anytime soon. That kind of bullshit CBS Sunday Morning way of announcing it. For a group of men in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, laundry is a reminder of better times of their childhood. And so literally like a group of guys they would maintain and top load, they would maintain some ancient top loader washing machine from like the 1960s.
Okay.
And they will just stand around in a basement and just do laundry together and talk about them, and they like the spin cycles and things. I was like, I did not understand what that. It's like, I'm a train nut and I love very nerdy things that many people can't understand. That one I could not fathom. I realised that was the end of my credibility of hobbies. Because most things, it's like, okay, I'm not into that personally, but I can get, I can see what the appeal of that is.
Yeah.
Even football, I can see what the appeal of it is.
Yeah.
I understand why people like football. I just don't.
Yeah, the longer one.
It's a, yeah. There we go. That's okay. I'm going to start pulling into the yard now. Presumably we're going at 30 because this is where we pull off. Here we go, yeah. Alright, now we've got to be really careful. Make sure we're stuck in the right position. The internet has taught me anything. Unusual people exist. You're speaking to two of them now, John.
True. So, yeah, by the internet standards.
The thing is, though, it does beg the whole question of what really is normal.
Yeah.
What does that even mean?
I always thought the idea of being free was quite bad.
Yeah, why would you want to be?
Completely normal.
Is that something that's worth being, or is it worth celebrating the things that you are interested in? And
I'm quite glad that I'm not completely normal.
oh, thank God.
Bit of a slog.
Yeah, I actually got it done.
You did. You did.
All right, we're going to do something a little bit more fun now. Yes.
Yeah.
Cane Creek, Thompson, and to Potash. Potash, yeah.
Potat.
Potash is like a... What is potash?
I don't know.
I forget what potash is.
I assume
it's
we're not doing dinner tonight.
I do not need it much. Saying that, my last flatmate was a trans, lesbian, polyamorous, autistic, so my threshold is high.
It's a lot of...
I mean...
A lot of adjectives.
That's quite a lot of...
That's a lot of adjectives.
Trans, lesbian... Can you be trans and lesbian? How does that work? I mean, not that you can't, I'm just...
Yes.
Does one...
Usually I believe that refers to if you transition to a woman.
Right, but you still like women. Okay, so you've gone from male to female,
yes,
but you still like women.
Yes.
Yeah.
I believe
that makes sense. Well, that's basically what Eddie Izzard is.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, Eddie Izzard...
I don't really think it's all that uncommon, to be honest.
No, I mean, that kind of... I think that's what... what's her name from Kill James Bond? Not Alice, but... Because Alice has a husband, I think. Mm-hmm. The other one, whose name I forget. The one with the very, very attractive cheekbones.
Ah, yes. I don't remember her
the
name.
kind of slightly northern accent. I forget her name, but she is still she still likes women.
Yes.
She does Philosophy Tube. She's Philosophy Tube on YouTube, so she does like philosophy videos.
She does have amazing cheekbones. I'm very jealous.
Alright. The Southeastern High Speed.
Why is Arnie our train driver?
Welcome aboard the high-speed trains of the Southeastern Railway. It's great. I just slip into it sometimes.
Yeah, like I said, you've definitely improved over the past year.
With my former flatmate, I learned they is just a safer pronoun. Right, yeah. I mean, that's the subject we're not going to get too into,
Yeah.
I think. We're just going to stay away from anything that's potentially contentious. Because
yeah.
anything like that, it just attracts this kind of horror. It's like Richard and Duncan stay away from that stuff.
Yes.
For a good reason, which is that you can... Oh, speaking of which, here's the Pride Train.
I do love the Pride
I think we're going to, both of...
Can we drive the Pride Train?
I think that's what we're driving.
Yay! Okay, that's fun.
It randomizes, so you get a different one each time you do the same mission.
That's fun.
So we've got the Pride Train now. It's cool. No, I mean, I'm all on that. I'm pro-gay rights and everything, and I think that's very important. But yeah, it's not something I really want this channel to be about.
Yeah.
So
this is about our escape.
This is just hanging out, having a bit of a chill time.
Certainly not to say that we're supporters, but we're
Of course,
laws.
yeah. Stop beeping.
Oh no, is he gonna do the beeping again?
We have to be careful with this one.
There's a glitch that happens sometimes in this. And we didn't know it was a glitch. We thought we were just not figuring it out, but apparently it's a glitch. Where
Those colours
the
are
train,
really nice, actually.
where the train just starts beeping, and you can't stop it, and that's that. The train beeps now, and it's very annoying.
So this is a fun train because it does both overhead. So it's got pantographs here, right? But it's also got third rail shoes. So those can pick up from a third rail, pick up power. It can also pick up power from an overhead line, which is what it will do here. High speed one is all overhead. Third rail. Usually third rail is used for kind of underground systems. So like, the New York subway is third rail. A lot of local kind of ones. But there's quite a lot of the southeastern region that's third rail stuff. Which is a huge safety concern because basically third rail will explode you. As Gareth Dennis says on his podcast.
Yay.
He's like, we really need to get rid of all... this is a engineer for HS1 that I listen to his podcast sometimes. And oh no.
No.
I think I did it.
No.
I can't turn that off. God damn it.
No.
I have to just restart the scenario.
Because I tried the Pride Train.
Oh no, and it's probably going to get rid of the Pride Train as well.
Aww.
Ah, God damn it.
Why did it make it go beep?
I didn't do it deliberately. I did it by accident.
What did you do? What makes it
I don't
happen?
know. I think if you do the emergency brake, there's no way to turn
Why
off
did
that
you do
noise.
the emergency
I didn't
brake?
mean to. I meant to press it the other way, but it's one or the other, and I got the wrong one. Whoopsie. Glasgow's Clockwork Orange. Yeah, I love the Clockwork Orange, actually. Have you ever been on it?
No.
They call it the
I've
Clockwork
never
Orange.
been to Glasgow.
Oh yeah, you haven't. But it's this lovely mini subway. I think I've told you about it. It's literally just a circle.
It's adorable.
It's so teeny.
Aww, I want to try the Pride Train.
We'll probably get it on another mission though. It turns up quite a lot. It's impossible to get lost on it. That's true. That is true.
Stupid game.
So basically, I think that AWS is automatic warning system. Whenever that alarm goes off, that should cancel it, except that it doesn't. So they need to fix that. There's probably going to be a patch for it at some stage, but
Train
yeah.
Simulator, please.
Currently, there is no way for it not to do.
Fix it, Train Simulator.
Yeah, they really need to do that. So yeah, this is what they call a bi-mode train. It goes both ways.
Ah, there we go. Very
Yeah, it's a gender non-conforming train.
During Freshers Week, you do get people going on subcrawls.
And having a drink. Okay, so they get off at every station,
okay.
go and have a drink, get back on, have that sounds pretty fun actually.
Yeah, and you don't have to walk.
Because
between
there's
things.
pub crawl, sub crawl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Nice.
I like it. I like it.
That's an exceptionally Glasgow kind of thing. I don't think you could do that many other. I suppose Tyne and Wear Metro in Newcastle, you could maybe do that. But I think that's one of the only ones that we call subway. Most other trains, like we call it the underground, we call it the tube. I don't think we call many other systems subway, so it only works in Glasgow to call it a subcrawl. Manchester nearly had one.
Yeah, really.
Very close to, yeah. Don't beep.
Anxiety.
I know. Did I? Here we go.
Yay.
It's probably one of these things that it will eventually give us the Pride train. But I've seen it around on the... I don't know how many different... Because it'll be the number thing. So this number tells you which one this is. This is 016 of the 395 class. The first three numbers is the type of train. The second group of three numbers is which one it is of that class. So whichever one is the Pride unit will have a specific number.
Yeah.
And it basically just randomizes whatever one that it gives you when you start the scenario, I guess. If you need wheelchair access, you're out of luck. A fair few stations on Glasgow subway. I can imagine, yes. It's, well, no, but it would be hard to know how they could do much about it, to be honest. Because there's some of these systems that were built so long ago. Like, there's loads of tube stations that don't have wheelchair access, and so they have to mark on the map where they are.
Gosh.
They're making a huge effort to try and make all trains wheelchair compliant. That's why some older ones are getting phased out, actually, is because they're not wheelchair compliant. Like, the Pacers were supposed to go several years ago, because, not just because they were crap, but also because they had... So you know, as you get on the train here, yeah, I'm not supposed to be able to do that while it's moving. Okay, there's a door just open.
Yay.
I should probably actually go and like deal with that. There we go. So there was a step. So right here, as you enter the train, it was actually a step, which you literally had to carry disabled people over. Like it was not good.
No.
It was not a good system. All right. From this point, we're basically just screaming along high speed 1. A spooky story when they were digging Hill Head Station, they found a mass grave of plague victims. Ooh, that is some 100% spook. I'm spooked.
You've done it. Yeah, spook.
I'm not.
Can't say I'm terribly surprised.
Yeah. I mean, that does happen periodically. Like when they were digging Crossrail, there was a whole bunch of stuff they found. Because of course, you're digging quite deep under London in parts of it that haven't been accessible for several hundred years. You're going to find stuff. Apparently, it got worked into a movie, didn't it? It got worked into. I think it was the shitty Mummy movie they made. Like they discover Mummy's tomb because they're digging Crossrail, and they worked in the Crossrail
I mean, it's a funny
tunneling
word.
project into the 2017 Mummy film. Which is hilarious.
It is. I don't want to
We could definitely do that. We could definitely go for that. Okay. Oof. Oh no! God damn it. I think I did it. I think I did the thing. I think there's nothing I can do. I think I'm just gonna have to quit this scenario. It hates me. The game hates me.
It hates everyone.
That's really irritating. Hillhead is my favourite on the line due to the large mural by Alistair Gray. Oh yeah, I forget. There was one that had a large mural. I can remember. Did I ever get off at Hillhead? I must have done. Hillhead. Yes, I definitely do. I definitely get off there because it's next to the Botanic Gardens. So the last time I went up there, I was visiting a friend who taught at Glasgow Uni. Yeah, so I got off there and went up to the Great Western Road. So basically, my grandparents used to actually own a little flat just off the Great Western Road, which is along, you know, a couple of minutes walk along from the Botanical Gardens, which is kind of cool. There it is, Belgrave Terrace. That's where they used to live. So John used to use the Hillhead station. I realise I actually use that station quite a lot whenever I'm in Glasgow because that's the one next to the Glasgow Botanical Gardens, which is one of my favourite places to take a walk because it's very near to where my grandparents used to have an apartment. Yeah, Belgrave Terrace, man. I spent many a day there, and then I sometimes would get back on at Kelvin Bridge. It goes over the river to Kelvin. It's a lovely area, really nice, and there's a fantastic little second-hand bookstore just along that the Great Western Road. Yeah, it's great. I got a couple of books there last time I was there. I actually bought, weirdly enough, I didn't buy any Scottish authors. I bought Catcher in the Rye, which I've been meaning to read. But it was fantastic. They had loads of good stuff. Alright, I'm not bloody touching that reverser. That does that. That's okay. It's okay. I know. I don't like it. I don't like it. So you see now, we've got a different engine. We've got 005, not 016. We're on a different train. Okay, unlock the doors. Okay, if it does it one more time, I'm quitting.
There are other games.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I went for Pizza Express with my friend at Hillhead, just up the street from that. Voltaire and Rousseau, greatest bookshop in Glasgow. I used to live about Calvin Hall station. Nice.
Well, you still need to show me Glasgow, though.
We're gonna go up to Glasgow at some stage, yeah, because it's beautiful. think it's, you know, next to like Oxford and others, it's one of my favourite. I think it might be my favourite UK city. Which is funny because I think I would not say that I particularly like Liverpool, even though I grew up there.
Yeah, I mean,
Liverpool and Manchester I have spent a lot of time in, but I can't say I really love them. I think Glasgow is much more my kind of speed because it's quiet. It's also very culturally beautiful, and there's a lot to do. Very friendly people, etc., etc. Which, of course, you have in Manchester too, but I don't know. Just somehow Manchester has a slightly more. Manchester and Liverpool, I think, are a little bit different for me. My brother's lives in Manchester, so obviously I'm going to see him a lot. Yes, sure. John says Glasgow has its problems, but I have grown to love the city. Yeah, it does, and it's, you know, particularly, is it the East End? Because it was an example of that thing where, you know, if cities do have an east and a west side, it tends to be the east that's the poorer part of it.
is there a reason for that?
I don't know. It's a phenomenon. I have no idea why. But it's, if you think about it, it's kind of true in New York, because the upper west side is like very shishi,
True, yeah.
and then the east side, you start to think of, you know, what the east side is like, and then obviously you've got Brooklyn and stuff.
And stuff. And things.
And things.
Yep.
Like DC, yeah, the northwest and the west side of DC is all very wealthy, and the eastern side is very kind of deprived and poor. John says, I think it's due to weather. Smoke from factories blow over to the east side. Yeah, that's true. It may be because of weather. I think another thing is that in DC, a lot of like the main railway and like road links go out through the east side.
Okay.
So deprived areas in America is often along busy railway lines.
Yeah.
And that's certainly true in America. It's not true for every big city, but you know, because it's not true for Chicago, because the east side of Chicago is all on the waterfront of the lake.
I would think it would be less true on the west coast of the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
Because obviously the coast is on the
The coast
west.
is on the west side, yeah.
Wait, no, are we saying the east is the poor part?
No, that's the funny thing, though. I think
Wait, were we saying west or east?
west tends to be wealthier, east tends to be
Okay,
more
so
deprived
not
and
in.
poorer.
Sorry, then I mean on the east coast.
Right. Poor and dispossessed get dumped on top of other poor and dispossessed folk, yeah. Yeah, pretty much. I want to just keep the speed.
That being said, in the U.S., I don't mean big cities in East Coast states. Are there any big cities directly on the East Coast?
Oh, yeah. Well,
Because Manhattan is kind of its own island, so there's water.
Boston,
kind of on all
I
sides.
guess. Philadelphia is it's on a river.
I mean, on the actual coast.
Actually on the coast. Well, the thing is, the coast's very ragged in America.
Yeah.
You know, you have some places, probably Miami, I guess. Miami's right on the coast, isn't it?
Which side?
It's on the east side of Florida, I think. Because that's the one they think is all going to be Baltimore. Yeah, Baltimore. Although
Yeah.
Baltimore's kind of in an inlet, so it's not, you know, it doesn't.
Yeah, you're right. Miami is on the east.
Careful not to set off the freaking alarm.
Yeah, Baltimore's got a little inlet, but does have some jagged coasts. I'm just thinking if you're on they also have an amazing aquarium.
It's a very good aquarium, yeah.
I'm just thinking because if you're on the East Coast, then the more valuable properties will be on the East side of the city.
Mm-hmm. Very careful. There we go, got the reading light on.
Maybe that's the real challenge of this run. It's just don't off
hit the emergency
annoying,
brake.
Yeah.
Glasgow does have Europe's largest methadone clinic. We are number 1, namely HMP Barlinnie. Can you look up what methadone is? I don't know what that is.
Yeah, it's an opioid.
Okay, yeah.
Thought it was something to do with that. Yeah, it's a chronic pain opioid.
Ugh. That's a very depressing topic. Opioids. I have treatment for heroin addiction. Yeah, there's big addiction problems in Glasgow. I've been for a long time. Actually, the Anti Bourdain episode on Glasgow, on Scotland, a lot of it focuses on Glasgow. It's
That's
really,
a harrowing
really good.
episode, honestly. It's very good, but
They talk about lobster thermidor. And it's also that lady, she's a comedian. Can't remember her name. She's kind of, I want to say she's in her 50s or 60s, and she's got dark hair. And she used to be married into a mob, into Glasgow gangsters.
oh, okay.
And she's written books, and I think she's not Val McDermott, who is the crime novelist. She's somebody else, but no, it's I can't remember her name, but Anthony Bourdain has dinner with her, and they have lobster thermidor.
Yes, I remember that.
And she talks about her history as being part of the Glasgow gangsters. It's quite interesting.
That was a very good show when he finally left the network trying to overly control him.
Mm-hmm.
And
They could just do what they wanted.
yeah, for the most part.
Oh, okay.
Okay, cool.
I don't think Ali Smith is from Glasgow. I think she's from elsewhere. She grew up in, I think, somewhere around Edinburgh, maybe. But she's one of my favourite authors. She's really fantastic. They call her Scotland's Nobel laureate in waiting.
Oh yes, you were telling me about that.
So if she doesn't win it at some point, I would be surprised, because I think she's so fantastic. Right, can I lock the doors? There we go. Here we go. When I was a student, Frankie Boyle lived at the end of my road. He always has a "Don't you dare talk to me" expression. Yeah, Frankie Boyle's a little bit. He's very funny. I haven't seen what's gone on with him much lately. I just remember him being like the edgiest edgy comedian ever on Mock the Week. Like he became kind of notorious for that. He nearly got Mock the Week cancelled for making a joke. Like they were doing. He lived in a 4th-floor townhouse, so he's doing well. Yeah. He does live, national tours and stuff. And he's written quite a lot of books and stuff. you've got to write one of those books that does really well, and you've got to be a recognizable, nationally known comedian.
Yeah, I'm scared of that.
Right. He nearly got Mock the Week cancelled because he told this joke. They were doing things the Queen is thinking, or something like that.
Oh.
And he goes, I'm now so old, my pussy is haunted.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
And it started this huge furore in the BBC about, like, you know, broadcasting standards and stuff. I mean, that was by no means the only kind of edgy joke that he would do, you know. He was kind of the bad boy. But the really hilarious thing was that all of the other newsreaders were reporting on it, and they had like Greg Dyke on, who was then the controller of the BBC. They had him on like Views Night, and Emily Maitlis had to recite, "I'm now so old, my pussy is haunted." It's like, do you think that that's the kind of thing that's acceptable in broadcasting? I think that's part of what was so hilarious about the whole thing, is that Frankie Boyle made other people say it. That was what was so great.
That's freaking hilarious.
Other people had to say this filthy thing. It's so funny. I find that's always the funniest thing about any controversy like that, is that there's always, you know, somebody got fired for saying a thing, but they won't tell you what it was. You're always going to want to know what it was that set off the... that started the fuss. Nowadays it tends to be celebrity said a bad on Twitter. So a celebrity said a bad on Twitter, and they've apologised for their comments, and their company has distanced themselves and said, we're nothing as bad as they are. It's just him, it's not all of us, it's okay. Please
love us.
It's like they're cowering. Please put down the baseball bat, internet. We didn't do it. It's not us. And you're like, but nowhere will it tell you what they said.
Yeah.
And sometimes you look it up and you're like, oh, they said that.
Oh, yeah.
Like James Gunn or somebody, and you're like,
Oh, yeah, that one.
yeah, that's not good.
Seriously, I mean, how did they not know before they hired him?
Exactly. Yeah, like, come on.
It was already there. This happened years ago, and this is Disney. You would
Also,
think they would do their background checks.
Had they seen the kind of movies he was making, like
Yeah,
Super,
like, what
it's
did you
incredibly
think
violent and
he was-
irreverent and bad.
What did you think you were getting? I mean, you're Disney.
I was asked to leave Geek Retreat due to an off-color joke I made a bit too loud.
Oh no. Geek retreat?
I don't know what geek. I'm going to have to look up what that is.
I'll be your Google.
Here we go. We're on High Speed 1. This is the fastest you can go on train in the UK currently. 198 kilometers an hour.
Okay, it seems to be 8 years.
Okay.
How do I not know about this?
Where are they? Where's the Geek Retreat? Ah, it's a rip-off of Forbidden Planet. I thought it was hilarious. Excellent. Stand your ground. Yeah.
Ooh, there's lots of them.
Ooh, where's the nearest?
Probably in London.
Lada. We'll have to go to Lada. Go to the Geek Retreat.
What a Portsmouth.
There's one in Portsmouth?
Yeah.
That's interesting. There's one in Portsmouth, but there's not one here in Reading.
Apparently not.
It's odd.
I will, honestly though, I wonder if it's because we have eclectic games. They've been here for apparently.
Yeah.
I was talking to him just the other day. They've been here for 18 years.
Really?
Yeah, and they're
At that location?
and they win annual small business awards.
Hey.
So
Excellent. Look at that.
they're very well established. So it might very well be that they don't want to open it here because there's already a store.
It's like, don't go up against that store. Yeah.
And there's, I mean, all the demand is filled by eclectic games. Interesting.
Yeah, you're not gonna have. They have too much of the market share at this point.
I'm happy. I mean, even if they did open, I would still go to eclectic games for anything I wanted to buy that they sold. Because I want to support them. So unless Geek Retreat sold something that they didn't have,
Right.
even for events, Eclectic Games does weekly events, gaming days.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
I'm excited. I feel like we should go to one of their open board game days. I mean, I want to go for the Pokemon card game nights, but I know that they're open for libraries. It is.
Is there something like that in Oxford?
Yeah.
Gaming school?
Right in the little closet before the Organic Deli.
Yes, that's the one.
There's a board game store that there's always people in there playing.
Now, that's a question. Have you ever been kicked out of somewhere? I don't think I have.
Kind of.
Okay.
It wasn't a retail location.
Okay.
So background for people not that don't know, where I went to college has a girls only dorm, which is quite uncommon in the States. They're almost all co-ed.
Ridley.
But no, Bulge.
Oh, it was Bulge.
Ridgely was the one for the theater kids.
Oh yeah, with all the oldies.
But there, but there was. I'm saying this from word of mouth, knowing from word of mouth, not personal experience, for the record. No, there was a girls only dorm, and I had lived there my freshman year, but it was freshmen only and girls only. But one week we were desperately, during my junior year, we were desperately trying to find a TV to watch Doctor Who.
Oh yeah.
The new Doctor Who episodes, which were harder to come by than you think. And we managed to get into Bulge to try and watch it. But one of the, and we were halfway through the episode, but then one of the RAs came around and was like, "Do you live here?" I'm like, "I used to." And she's like, "Yeah, not good enough, go." So technically I got kicked out of Bulge.
Alright, that's a good one.
But Glasgow did have the best, now sadly closed nerd store, George and the Dragon. The owner would, maybe it's a different, openly criticizes your purchases. Sorry, I'm gonna open it.
The owner would criticize your purchases.
The comments cut off, so I'm gonna look it up on, sorry. Would openly criticize purchases. He was amazingly grumpy. I wasn't kicked out, just socially pressured by judging eyes.
Amazing.
Have you ever been kicked out of a place?
I'm trying to think. I don't think I have. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm quite. I don't quite have that kind of rebel history. Sadly, I kind of feel like it's something I should have.
Yeah.
I did get told off. I mean, when I was a kid, I was my parents had us to stay in this. They took us to this kind of large cottage complex in Scotland, and there was a games hall. There was like a snooker and pool and foosball and things like that. So we could go and play there. And there was a bunch of other people there. We were playing with another kid. We were getting a bit het up, and at some point, one of us swore. I think it might have been me. And at this point, I would have been about 12 or 13, and there was a group of Cockney ladies there, who immediately were like, "Mind your language, or we're gonna tell your mother." And like we were snickering about it, and like, "It's not funny either." They gave us a proper telling off, and again, didn't technically tell us to get out, but we were like, okay, we don't want to be here anymore.
Yeah. Oh god, he said people would go there just to buy Pokemon, just to annoy. Is he one of those?
I hate that. It's
I
like, why do
really
you
hate
stock
that.
it then if you think it's so shit?
Yeah, and also if you think it's shit, but you stock it to make money, you're making money off of it. Don't get annoyed
Don't
by people
bite
coming
the
to
hand
buy.
that's paying you.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
Also, I'm sorry. Pokemon is fun. Get the stick out of your ass. Sorry.
Told.
I have had this experience before, and it makes me really grumpy.
You can give me a Martina Cole novel.
That's the great thing about Eclectic Games. They're primarily a board game store, but they also start with stock card games. And when I go in, we have lovely conversations.
Right.
They're about most of the time Pokemon cards, but other things as well. They're super welcoming and kind and lovely.
Again,
No
surely
judgment.
if you run a store for geek stuff,
Yeah, don't.
surely you have a love for that world,
If
and you want to interact with people who also love those things.
Yes.
Like, that's a really good reason to have a store that does that.
If you want to be an asshole into scalpers, please do. Please be an asshole to any and all scalpers.
Right. Yeah.
But that's a different thing.
That's not just Pokemon as a genre.
Yes.
Yeah, you do have people that are weird. I mean, in the model trains world, again, it's just so funny that it's the model trains world, because it's like, it's this incredibly frivolous thing that people nevertheless have really strong opinions about sometimes.
I mean, have you seen how strong opinions people have of pieces of cardboard with pictures of creatures that don't exist? I mean,
Right.
I have some perspective.
He's long dead now, so you would have to complain to a Ouija board. He was a huge Call of Cthulhu fan, would talk about all day about that. Yeah. There's always, that's the thing, is they always are gatekeeping something. They're always like, no, well, your thing is shit, but mine's amazing.
But yeah, but the thing is,
You shouldn't like that. You
Mine-
should like my thing.
No. The worst one is your thing is shit. My thing is amazing, but my thing is too good for you, or too
Exactly.
difficult for you, so you
wouldn't-
don't get it.
You wouldn't be able to do it.
So I'm gonna mock your thing and gatekeep you
Yeah.
from my thing.
Escape.
Okay.
That stuff's dumb. I hate that.
I am glad that culture in
I'm glad we have a-
stores,
yeah.
comic book stores is mostly dying out.
Right.
I haven't seen. I go around to a lot of game stores, comic book stores. I actually, it's a mini hobby of mine going to try and see all the small ones around. And for the most part, the attitude has really shifted. Because I remember when I was a kid and I'd go to the local comic book store, people in charge, they were either assholes in that they were huge gatekeepers.
It was a little bit nice guys-ish. A little bit fedora wearing.
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of
They were either huge gatekeepers,
those
or
guys.
they were really patronizing to women, or the whole 9 yards, or just patronizing to young people. Definitely remember that when I was younger. But now, with very rare exception, everyone's pretty lovely. Most of the game stores and card stores and comic book stores I go to now, all of the people working there are super lovely.
That's been a nice thing of as a result, possibly, of these kinds of games becoming much more mainstream, and
Yeah.
a huge new influx of new fans and people that are into it. Stuff like Pokemon Go has brought everyone back into the fold, and people are collecting stuff, and there's loads of interest on YouTube, so that's how people pick up the hobby now.
I think in general, a lot of people run into stores a little bit less bitter now.
Well, this is the thing. I mean, you used to have that. I was like of the Games Workshop for nearly 25 years because I was mocked for calling a wyvern a dragon.
Oh god.
It's the same thing in. That was very stuttery just there. That was sorry.
Very Arnie.
Yeah. The wyvern and the dragon. Yes. But yeah, it's exactly the same thing in the model train world. It's like, these two freight cars would never be seen together in the same train. It's like, well, I will run my fictional layout that, is it's not a real railroad, it's a toy. I will play with my toy trains however I like. Like, in the magazine that came to the door the other day,
Yes, yes, yes.
The roundhouse. My dad's into model trains.
I
so-
find it hilarious. I'm sorry, I do find it hilarious because the Roundhouse, yes, it is a model train magazine. It does sound a little bit like a knockoff Playboy. Just saying.
That's the most hilarious thing about it. No, it's so it's it's a hobby magazine for people who are into that hobby, and it's great. It has little articles about stuff people have built. So it's like
Yeah.
somebody's made a little N scale or HO scale goods shed, and they've hand built it out of wood. Like it's beautiful, and they've made all of the little wood slats and everything. Kyle says, I don't know if you're looking to play a new game, but I have one in mind you might like. It's called the Batman the Telltale series. Oh, I've heard of that,
I think
actually.
I've heard of that one, and I've heard good things.
Mm.
We'll keep that in mind.
Definitely. Thanks for the recommendation, Carl.
See,
Appreciate
I'm
it.
gonna write that down right now.
Batman the Telltale.
Because I think I'm trying to remember if this is one that I've seen playthrough of, in which case it will be quite fun. Noted. On the list.
Yes, thank you, Kyle. Yeah, so Model Train World is a lot less. There are still those pockets of. There used to be a name for it. There used to be like you'd call somebody either a Joby. A Joby. I don't know why. It was just maybe there was one guy called Joby who was just a real asshole, and just all they did was it's a particular trope of person. They don't have a layout themselves.
Nah.
But they criticize everybody else's and tell them how they're doing everything wrong. It's like, oh, you shouldn't do it like that. You should do it like this. It's like, well, I don't see you doing it. I don't see you trying. Though saying that when I run a historical RPG, I can be a stickler for historic details. Yeah, like there's certain things I will be kind of,
Yeah.
it's there's certain things that feel right to me.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like there's a difference between being a stickler to your own taste
Yeah.
and being a stickler and going to someone and saying you've done it wrong because your
Exactly.
taste is different from mine.
It's like, well, I want to do it this way. If somebody else is doing it
I
differently,
appreciate the detail on yours.
sure.
I have decided to do mine differently.
Like very often you have this with the layout. Like it's just, what is the point of giving negative feedback just to give negative feedback? Why is that useful? Like very often you see that somebody's built their layout, but they've done maybe the wiring and the kind of track laying part of it really, really well, but they just suck at painting or something. Like it's very obvious they don't really know what they're doing with that side of it, and that's just like, well, yeah, that's just not a skill they have. And the advantage when you've got a large group of people building a layout together is that you have different scale sets, and one person's going to do the painting, the other person's actually going to figure out all the signaling bullshit because they've got crazy programming skills for some. It's like they maybe work as a telephone engineer until they know how everything should work. I did see a picture once of a layout that had been built by a group of telephone engineers, and the wiring underneath, I swear to God, it was beautiful. It was just, everything was laid out perfectly. It was the ducting and cabling was done so logically that if ever there was a fault or a problem, they could instantly get to it and instantly find it and fix it.
That sounds
Because
crazy
that was
satisfying.
they knew how to do that stuff from their job. That's great.
Oh, that sounds really satisfying.
You don't need lights on. Lights. Can't see it. Right. Cab light. Ooh, no. Oh, yeah. Oh. I don't think I can press that button. Yeah, the lights have been off this whole time.
So they've just been sitting in the dark.
Pretty much. Well, that's actually a huge safety problem.
Yeah.
Because you need to be able to see trains coming. Otherwise, you'll be in this tunnel and just get annihilated by a train going at 188 kilometers an hour.
That's not funny. It's just funny.
It's not slowing down now. model train. There was an article in the most recent Roundhouse magazine. It's like, here's how to do operation properly. These are the reasons you should do operations, because it gives everything you're doing purpose. Like, it helps you buy into the illusion that it's a real system and that everything has a reason. I kind of like that. When I'm building my layout, I'd like to think about, I can't make an entire system because that would take a gym hall worth of space to actually build.
Well, that's the other thing, is there's just certain limitations that you have to get creative with.
And it's fun to get around those by saying, right, I can make this little scene that I've built realistic by saying, well, the trains would come in here, they leave there, and then we'll pretend that that's gone off to, I don't know, Mito or Atami or some suburb of Japan.
Yes.
Suburb of Tokyo. The worst... Could you read that out?
Yeah, but worst RPG-related gatekeeping I did was laughing at a guy's character name he came up with for Shadowrun. But the name Max Shrapnel was just plain stupid.
Max Shrapnel.
Yeah.
I'm Max Shrapnel. That's like one step above calling somebody John Fist.
I mean, if you're trying to be corny and ironic, and it's not ironic, it's trying to be... If you're trying to be that person that's pretending to be ironic, knowing that it's not actually ironic and it's just an asshole thing, if that's your character...
Isn't it ironic
fine.
when it rains on your wedding day? You know what I'm talking about, right?
No.
Isn't it ironic? The song. Ironic? A little too ironic? Come on, you must know what that is.
I can't place it in my head. I might know if I heard it.
It's a thing. Anyway, carry on, sorry.
He was not being ironic. Oh.
Oh no.
You're supposed to be stopping the train.
I am. But I'm not using the emergency brake. Assiduously. Where did I end up? Here we are. See, look, they're still on the platform, it's fine.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, no, if you're not trying to be ironic with that, I'm laughing at you too.
Right, I'm going to pause for a second and run to the bathroom.
Okay.
I shall be right back. So it's up to you to entertain everyone.
Oh, God.
Keep it going.
Be quick. Alanis ruining what people think. Yeah. Irony is a very overused... It's an overused word, but the problem... At this point, it's so overused that I'm not actually sure what the appropriate term is sometimes, because everyone just says, oh yeah, that's ironic. I'm like, okay, I know this isn't ironic, but everyone is calling it... I know that's not what irony means, but everyone's calling it ironic and not calling it the appropriate word, so I don't actually know what the appropriate word is. Let's see if I can mess up this game. Oh gosh, he has the inverted vertical axis, so when I press down, the camera goes up. I can't handle that. It's just so counterintuitive to me. Let's see. Hello, sir. Can I fly into... Sorry, I know this is very jerky, but the inverted camera really throws me off. Can I fly through the train? As I was growing up, I was taught it meant when sorry, I'm not doing that with the camera. Our controller's messed up. As I was growing up, I was taught it meant when actual meaning differs from perceived meaning, thus making it ironic. Yes, absolutely. No, I know what irony means. It's just that it's, as you were saying, people use the term ironic for in the wrong context so often. So I hear it and I'm able to identify, no, that's not what irony is. But you don't hear other terms used. I'm sorry, I can't think of an example. If I could think of an example, this would be much clearer. I'm not doing this. I'm not touching the controller.
Nope. I'm not touching the controller at all. This is just a thing that happens now. Ooh, we're speeding up. Isn't that fun? I'm not doing this. Alright, I stopped it. It's so annoying. We've only had this PS4 for a couple of months. And the controller is already acting up, and these things are not cheap. I'm sure we could get it replaced under the warranty, but it's just such a pain in the ass. These DualShock controllers really are not cheap. Even if you get them used. I'll have to see if there's, if anyone knows of any good knockoff brands that are a good bit cheaper but still work, let me know. I know with things like the Switch, you just cannot get. I'm going to make him very late. Maybe I won't do that. Things like the Switch, you just cannot get knockoff controllers because Nintendo has such a tight grip on their products. But PS4, I know that there are other brands. I just don't know if any of them are reliable. So if anyone knows, it's fine. It's England. The train can be late. I want to continue exploring. As long as I don't set off that damn alarm. Max Shrapnel got over my mockery in time. I mean, how can you do that and not expect mockery? It's just... If you're not doing it ironically, of course it's going to be mocked. It's just terrible. Out of curiosity, John, do you play D&D ever? We do a little bit of D&D. We haven't gotten a chance for a while because we don't have a group here in Reading yet, but I quite enjoy it. Door locked. Alright. Nope. Stupid axis. I'm gonna crawl on the floor.
Yeah.
Hello.
You got this passage yet?
No, I probably made you kind of late, but I was having fun
Okay. Just wandering around.
wandering around. Here you go. And here are the headphones. Sometimes I play by Skype during lockdown, but play a variety of games. I was asking about D&D.
Ah, okay. Hang on. Oh!
How did you get under the train?
I don't know.
Can you run the train from here? I didn't do anything, I just floated around.
This is a problem.
I didn't do it. When I handed it over to you, I was still in the train. Whee!
Alright, I guess I'm getting run over then. Whoopsie.
I didn't do anything.
I believe you. I believe you. The, appear to be trapped here.
Interesting. Seems like a safe place to be.
Mm-hmm. Alright, well, there we are.
Hey! I mean, it's the kind of thing I would do, but I didn't this time.
Yeah, that was your thing, wasn't it? It's like, right, I'm gonna mess up the camera view. One is in the toilet.
I mean, as soon as you left, I said, okay, let's figure out how I can mess this up. But
You did you?
like, it's on video, so I can't pretend I didn't. But I didn't actually do it. When I handed the remote back to you, you were still in the cab, remember? I don't even know how to do that. John,
Hopefully-
careful about taking sides.
Hopefully it will reset once I'm out of the, because when you're in the tunnel you can't use the external view for obvious reasons. believe you this time.
Really?
Okay.
You have to believe me. Believe me.
Try and turning this map back on.
You jump. Thing is, the kind of thing I would do.
It is. You're a bit mischievous.
Yes.
Bit of a mischievous girl.
Well, it's fun.
It is fun. Evil's fun. It's
It
fun
is
to
fun.
be evil. The weather really can't decide what to do.
No, it's been pretty shit most of the day. And except for
But it's
like
kind
the
of
1 hour that it
warm.
wasn't.
It's kind of warm, but like, can't be bothered actually being sunny.
I don't know. Is it just me or has this summer been particularly bad for weather?
No, it's kind of English.
I've spent 2 other summers in it, but I don't remember it being this shit.
Yeah. Kind of happens, I'm afraid. Okay, that's annoying. It shouldn't jump from 160 to 100. It should jump from 160 to 130. It doesn't tell you what it's going to jump to, so it doesn't tell you what you're supposed to be under.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh well.
It's supposed to be reasonable.
I realise that is a very unreasonable expectation.
It is.
An hour or so, we had what could only be described as a mild tropical storm.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, Scottish weather. Scottish weather is particularly wild sometimes.
I mean, America is, or at least I should generalize American weather varies dramatically by region, but at least in the Northeast, we do have very wintry winters.
Mm.
But our seasons, for the most part, know what they are. Like,
It's just so humid over there. That's the thing I can't deal with in
well, you were down in
East
DC,
Coast.
which is definitely more humid
Yeah,
than most
it's
of New York.
swampy.
Yeah, well, it's DC's an old swamp. So. Most of New York isn't as bad. Sometimes it is, but when it's still very warm, with the heavens open and unleash a deluge. Yep. It sounds like
Indeed.
China.
Yeah, pretty much.
We had some crazy storms in China.
They
Jeez.
were wild, yeah. They would shake the building.
Yeah. Yeah. We're on the 29th floor.
Thankfully, we never had anything fall over. Like, I was a bit concerned that maybe one of our
I mean, some years it might have, but I think
Yeah.
we got lucky because they were talking about the typhoon some years, and
people's lights were swinging.
yeah, which I mean the buildings are meant to do that. That's actually a safety
Yeah, yeah.
precaution.
But it can knock over your shit.
Yeah, and we weren't allowed to screw things in, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
What did he say?
Though the summer is largely a myth in Scotland, Scottish children point at the sun and say, "Mummy, the day star is angry."
The taste.
Mummy, the day star's angry.
That didn't sound like a child.
No, my impression's very bad. Here we go. Alright. Theoretically, look at this. I'm in a green under... Oh, God.
Now you can just get out of it.
Right, will it reset if I sit back down. No. God damn it. Okay. Do I get to walk around the station, or... Oh, come on, I can do the... Yay, I added some newspapers.
Yeah, I was surprised when we were actually at real stations the other day and there weren't just blank billboards waiting for us to put up posters.
That's it for me to walk into them and just... Alright. I think I'm going to call this one here, because I
Good.
think I'm about done, but... Yes.
It's been fun.
Thank you for watching, guys. More of this at some point soon.
Yes.
Maybe tomorrow if we need to escape certain
Footed events.
sporting events. All right. Until soon.
Bye, Bob.
Bye bye.